I know a lot of people think that now that Donald Trump is in charge, we don't have to worry about a rogue ATF taking actions to turn ordinary, law-abiding citizens into felons overnight. But today I want to talk about how that is a total misconception. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Now I know a lot of people in the gun community think that it's time we can lay down our arms because Donald Trump is in office and he's the friend of the Second Amendment. Regardless of what he's done in the past, they seem to think that now he's somehow the savior of our gun rights. And that agencies like the ATF won't be taking actions under his rule to try to turn ordinary, everyday, law-abiding citizens into felons. But I want to come on here today and tell you just how wrong that is, because right now they are actively trying to turn me, maybe you, and lots of other people into potential felons. And it's all about guns like this one right here. This is my zombie gun. This is my 10/22 takedown with my, full capacity magazine, my sight, and a pinned and shrouded barrel, as you can see right there. And that's what they're trying to get us for, that there barrel. Up until now, it's been okay to have a device like this on a shorter barrel, which counts as the overall length of the gun, as long as it is pinned and welded in place and not easily removable. You just can't take it home and screw it off. I know there should be a double entendre there, but we're going to keep moving here because this is a serious video. And I've matured since my earlier videos. So they want to make it to where if you can get this off here, well, that's a felony. You've got a short-barreled rifle. And the way they've gone about trying to prove that these can be removed is by putting the barrel in a vise and then taking a piece of metal rod, wedging it in the actual pinned device here, the pinned part of the barrel, the shroud, and then prying on it and seeing if they can break it loose. And I hate to break it to you, you could do that with all of them. There's no way you couldn't. Even if you welded it all the way around, it could still be broken off with enough force. And you can't really do that anyway because you would destroy the barrel you're welding it to. So pretty much all of them can be removed. Even this one, this Tactical Solutions barrel that was designed from the start to have the shroud as part of the barrel. It is an integral part of this barrel. But it is still two separate pieces. So if I just wanted to get a Dremel out with a little cutter, I could take this off in a minute. Wouldn't be any effort whatsoever, and I would still have a short, threaded, usable barrel on my gun. And therefore, I would be in illegal possession of a short-barreled rifle. And you might think I'm exaggerating when I said what they did to the gun. No, in their own report, they locked it in a vise. And then they beat on it and pried on it with a metal rod until the welded bolt broke. And then they're like, aha, well, this gun would not be compliant because we were able to take the part that makes it compliant off of it. Now, you might be asking, why do you want this part? Well, it's because, you can put your silencer or your suppressor on your barrel and it not be, way long. It can actually still be a usable length barrel with the suppressor installed. This is generally for people who want to put a suppressor on their barrel full time on a rifle. They want it to be part of the gun. So the gun overall is still the legal length and usually a little more because the suppressor usually sticks out a little bit. So usually you're an inch or two bigger than it needs to be. But because you can take the silencer out and if you could possibly remove the shroud, well, then it's still a short-barreled rifle. You're just putting a silencer on a short-barreled rifle. Now, this has been the law for a long time, and a lot of people have this. But they are actively right now trying to say that if you can take this off in any way, because, that's not normal procedure to beat on it with a metal rod and pry on it with a metal rod. So any extreme measures you would take to remove something like this, since they're allowing extreme measures in their test, if you can do it, then you're a felon. And that's happening right under Donald Trump's nose, right under Pam Bondi's nose. And some people are going to say, well, it's one rogue agent. There's no such thing as one rogue agent. These people all report to someone. They all file briefs. They all file everything every time they do anything. When you work in an organization like the ATF, you can't scratch your ass without filling out a form in triplicate. So it's well documented what they're doing. And it was signed off on before it was published. So it's not a rogue agent, it's just the tendency of the agency itself. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we're not safe. And Donald Trump and Pam Bondi aren't paying attention to things like that affect gun owners, because this doesn't affect 99% of their viewers or 99% of their voters. Probably doesn't even affect 99% of my viewers, much less 99% of their voters. So they don't worry about it because they don't have to worry about losing a vote over it. So this is something they're still doing, trying to turn ordinary law-abiding citizens into felons. So that is a bad thing, and it's still happening. Now, I know a lot of people will also try to counter by saying, well, they're trying to get rid of the ATF entirely, so they're not dealing with the little stuff. They're worrying about the big stuff, just getting rid of it. That's crap also, because the little stuff is big stuff. If it puts one law-abiding citizen in jail, especially one they decide they want to target because they don't like their other views, etc., like they did with CRS firearms, they want to make an example out of someone, well, then it's a big deal. And as far as getting rid of the ATF, they're making no effort to get rid of the ATF. They're just wanting to fold it into another agency that has a bigger, enforcement agency. Therefore, they'd be able to use the FBI to enforce their actual rules instead of having to rely on their own agents. So that's actually worse than what we have right now. But I just wanted to point out that now is not the time to become complacent. Now is not the time to not pay attention, because they're still doing crap like this, trying to turn, like I said, law-abiding citizens into felons, so we lose our rights, we lose our voice, we lose everything. Often we lose our freedom, and that's what they want. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.